All right, let's dive right into this explainer and explore how the shift to autonomous AI agents fundamentally breaks our traditional security models. For the past couple of years, we've all been heavily focused on securing conversational AI, right? But as we move away from standard chatbots and toward fully autonomous agents, the threat landscape isn't just shifting, it is expanding exponentially. We are no longer just worried about a model giving us bad information, we are worried about it taking bad actions.
Look at this shift we're seeing right out of the gate. We are moving from systems that simply generate content to autonomous entities that actually take action across your enterprise. Think about traditional generative AI. It's stateless, it's reactive, and its main job is just creating text or images. But agentic AI? It's a whole different ballgame. It has persistent memory, it actively executes tools, it proactively plans multi-step workflows to achieve goals that might be completely underspecified. It's a totally different beast, and as you'll see, treating an autonomous agent like a simple chatbot is a massive recipe for disaster.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the Agentic AI shift, break down the lethal trifecta, look at some real-world agent attacks, categorize them using the OWASP Agentic Top 10, and finally, wrap up with defense and mitigation.
Okay, Section 1, the Agentic AI shift. Let's look at exactly what makes this entirely new era of AI so uniquely challenging for security teams everywhere.
I absolutely love this analogy. Think of it this way. A traditional AI is like a helpful librarian. If you ask a bad question, sure, you get a bad answer, but nothing really breaks. But this intern analogy, it perfectly captures the insanely high stakes of giving an AI the keys to your operational workflows. An agentic system uses a language model as a reasoning engine to interpret its goals. And then it literally reaches out into your file systems, your APIs, and your live databases to get the job done. The failure mode is no longer just a hallucinated fact. It is an unauthorized bank transfer or a completely deleted database.
And that brings us to this absolutely crucial point, excessive agency. This is the root cause of the most critical operational risks we're seeing today. We so often give these agents broad, sweeping permissions just to get them up and running. We hand a customer support agent a plugin that reads records, but oops, we accidentally give it the ability to delete them too. Or we let it take action without a human explicitly approving that final step. Bottom line, when an agent has more autonomy than it strictly needs, it becomes a massive liability.
Moving right along to Section 2, the lethal trifecta. Let's dig into the behavioral vulnerabilities that emerge the second these agents are actually deployed. Researchers identified this concept by threat modeling the behavioral layer of these agents. When an agent possesses these three capabilities simultaneously, a super helpful tool instantly transforms into a critical, easily exploitable vulnerability. Imagine an agent that holds your API keys to do its job. Then, it reads a new, completely untrusted email from an outside sender. Finally, it has the ability to send webhooks to external servers. An attacker just hides malicious instructions in that incoming email, the agent reads it, gets hijacked, grabs your API keys, and quietly exports them straight to the attacker's server. And the scary truth is, most production agents today hit all 3 points of this lethal trifecta.
Section 3, real-world agent attacks. And spoiler alert, the threat is already here. To see how this actually plays out, let's look at some staggering real-world statistics from early 2026.
Just look at this number, 1,184. That represents the exact amount of confirmed malicious AI agent skills injected during the Claw Havoc malware campaign. And that happened in a span of just 3 days. Attackers completely flooded the ClawHub registry, which is a major marketplace for AI skills, with packages specifically designed to steal wallet keys, SSH credentials, and browser passwords. And get this, they didn't just attack the code. They wrote malicious instructions directly into the agent's persistent memory to backdoor them across multiple sessions.
Following right on the heels of that massive campaign, Snyk's Toxic Skills report revealed that over 36% of all scanned agent skills contain security flaws, over a third, and 13.4% of those were rated as critical. Think about what that means. Over a third of the tools developers are actively plugging into their autonomous agents are fundamentally broken or over-permissioned right out of the box, openly exposing sensitive API keys and personal data. And this next point brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of the exposure. Security Scorecard confirmed that over 135,000 of these vulnerable OpenClaw agents are already sitting completely exposed on the public web. Employees are deploying local agents on their corporate devices, and the Security Operations Center has absolutely zero visibility into it. We are essentially facing a massive shadow AI crisis.
All right, Section 4, OWASP Agentic Top 10. Let's group these threats together, because the community quickly realized that the traditional LLM Top 10 just wasn't enough to capture the dynamic failure modes of fully autonomous agents.
Now, what's really fascinating about this slide is how it visualizes the chaotic, totally interconnected nature of agent vulnerabilities. It's not linear, it's a web. One tiny input failure can cascade into massive system overreach. You can literally trace how a prompt injection attack connects directly to memory exploits, which lead to tool misuse and ultimately autonomous agent overreach. It is a total domino effect. So let's break down the most critical of these new OWASP agentic risks. Instead of a simple list, notice how this first group revolved entirely around manipulation. Attackers aren't necessarily hacking the underlying code, they are using natural language to hijack the agent's goals. With ASI-01, Agent Goal Hijack, a hidden instruction in a totally normal-looking PDF can redirect the agent's entire mission. With ASI-02, Tool Misuse, an attacker tricks the agent into chaining two completely legitimate tools together, like reading your CRM and then using the email sender to exfiltrate customer records. And of course, ASI-05, Unexpected Code Execution. If your agent can generate and run unsandboxed scripts on the fly, you are leaving the front door wide open to remote code execution.
This next group shows how attackers exploit delegated trust. They can poison an agent's memory or hijack its inherited identity to pivot laterally across your enterprise systems, essentially turning it into a confused deputy. For instance, if your finance agent passes its high-level security token over to a database agent, an attacker can spoof a message to retrieve HR data they absolutely shouldn't have access to. Furthermore, with ASC06 memory poisoning, by tainting an agent's long-term memory, an attacker ensures the agent behaves maliciously across multiple future sessions long after the initial attack is actually over.
Finally, because these systems are fundamentally autonomous, a hijacked agent can fall into a runaway loop, exhausting your compute resources and causing system-wide cascading failures. We call this a denial-of-wallet attack, where an agent gets trapped in a recursive loop of tool calls just burning through your API credits. And in a multi-agent system, one single poisoned memory record in one agent can trigger a massive fan-out of malfunctions across your entire network. Trying to trace that back to the root cause? It is incredibly difficult.
Which brings us to Section 5, Defense and Mitigation. We know the risks, so how do we actually fix this? Let's transition to the actionable solutions you can implement right now.
The OWASP AI Exchange recommends this fantastic framework called GUARD. It gives us a really structured step-by-step lifecycle to manage and mitigate autonomous risk. You have to start by governing, creating a centralized inventory of all deployed agents so you don't have shadow AI running wild. Then you understand the specific threats, you adapt your legacy security to cover new assets, like vector databases, you reduce the blast radius by strictly enforcing least privilege, and finally you demonstrate your security by actively red teaming your agents against complex, multi-step exploit chains.
Getting down to the infrastructure level, securing the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, is absolutely critical. Never ever pass client tokens directly, and always run agent tool executions in strictly isolated digital sandboxes. Standard containers just aren't enough here. You need hardened isolation, like gvisor or SE Linux, to truly trap a rogue agent. Furthermore, all agent skills need to be signed with cryptographic keys and checked against a strict allow list. When an AI acts as a mediator between the user and your system, a simple firewall just isn't going to cut it.
Ultimately, for those really high-stakes workflows, you absolutely must maintain a human in the loop. It is crucial for breaking that chain of excessive autonomy and preventing disastrous outcomes. We have to design systems where agents simply cannot execute high-risk actions, like moving money, modifying core infrastructure, or sending mass emails, without providing an explicit action preview and making a real human being click approve. So I want you to think deeply about the permissions your deployed agents currently hold right now, and ask yourself this final, kind of unsettling question. Your AI agent is executing tasks right now, but whose goals is it really achieving? Are your agents serving your business logic, or have they been subtly hijacked to serve someone else's? Securing agentic AI requires a fundamental shift in how we think about trust and system architecture. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the structural blueprint you need to go out and build safer, autonomous systems.